the primate and archbishop of the Church of West Africa, the Anglican community, Solomon Telewa Johnson. Away from the politics, let me come back. You were bishop and just a couple of weeks ago, archbishop, the transition.
My. It was, for me, I describe it as a miracle. You know, let me just quickly remind your viewers about the structure of the Anglican Communion. We are the third largest communion. The Roman Catholics are the largest. The Orthodox churches of the Eastern are the second largest. And the Anglican Communion, we have 80 million Anglicans in the world. And this number is divided, well, there are 880 bishops. I'm one of 880 bishops of the Anglican Communion. And these dioceses are divided into 38, province of West Africa, Church of England, Church of Nigeria, Church of Central Africa. And each church, each province is headed by a primate. So there are only 38 primates in the world. So I feel highly privileged to be one of the 38. And for us, that's the highest position you can have. It's like the equivalent to that is the Roman Catholic cardinals. So in our church, there are only 38 cardinals. And in our case, there's no pope. Each cardinal is same level. But for order's sake, when we meet, one of us should chair. And we give that honor to the primate of Church of England, the Archbishop of Canterbury. But primus inter pares, first among equals. So that for me is what people need to realize. It's a very weighty responsibility. And that's why I call for prayers constantly to be able to sit among that group of 38 top leaders of the Anglican Communion to begin to talk policy, to see what pastoral and other issues we need to sort out. So it all happened when we, as the church in West Africa, we have 16 dioceses. We met in Liberia, and it was the 8th primate was retiring. He retired at the age of 70. And now we say we need to have an election process. An election process. Of course, for us, it's no campaigning. You have to pray hard and seek for God's will. However, we then had this election. Little Gambia, we had only, by the way, 3 delegates. And each diocese comes with a delegation of 3. And there are 16 dioceses. Do the arithmetic. And when it was time for us to vote for one of the bishops.
I mean, 48 people were voting.
Yes, sir. And I'm telling you, if people voted parochially, I would not have got a job. It's quite certain that people outside the Diocese of Gambia must have felt that I should be the person to be given the opportunity to serve. And so that's how it happened. For me, it was a miracle. The tiniest, we're the smallest nation, because we're talking about Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Cape Verde, and Cameroon is also part of us. And Sierra Leone. So we are 9 countries in this province, and they have given me the privilege to be the primate to represent the West Africa Anglican Communion when the primates meet. So basically that's what it is. And I thank God for the training Gambians have given me, in the opportunities I had, for example, to run big institutions like IEC, GAMWorks, Tango. And you'll be amazed. For me, that's where all the experience came along, alongside my sometimes critical members who put me in my place from time to time. So all of that put together, I think one is ready to take on this assignment under God and with the prayers of God's people.
Do you see it like your election as the primate and archbishop of the Church of West Africa Anglican Community, like the biblical Saul, who when Israel needed its first king, God said to them, go and look for the tallest among the community. I mean, you're tall, you're eloquent, you have certain things at your disposition which the others don't have.
You know, Al-Haj Malik, you have said something profound. I use my height sometimes because, as you know, we are so small on the map
Yes.
that some maps don't even have us.
That is true.
So when I am there, I say Gambia exists.
Yes.
Just look at me.
Look
I
at
come
you.
from, your maps may not have us, but there is a place called the Gambia on the most western point of Africa.
That's true.
Well, that might be a factor. But I just trust that my colleagues, the bishops and the other delegates to that electoral college just felt that, again, the other advantage I have been serving. You know what it's like to serve for a long time in one place. I've been serving as a bishop for 23 years. In fact, the province of West Africa exclude Nigeria, but I can safely say, as we speak today, and by the grace of God, I'm the longest serving Anglican bishop in the whole of West Africa. There may be maybe one or two other Nigerian bishops been on the chair longer than me, but I doubt it. But this is basically the advantage of doing this work for so long, and you have experience over the decades. That also helps if one wants to give an assignment to somebody with experience.
One will marvel at the fact that when you come to the Gambia and you just go alongside Bucks Bar Road, you find the Roman Catholic Church, and then opposite is the King Fahd Mosque. The interfaith between the two dominant religions here, Christianity and the Muslims, there is a good relationship between this thing. Can you expand on this?
Let's even start here in your studio. This is my first interview, major interview, since my enthronement as the primate and archbishop of the province of West Africa, Anglican Communion. Being interviewed by a new Al-Haji, Malik Jones. Where in the world would you have that?
Nowhere.
I told your viewers a moment ago that you announced the fact that you have successfully come back from Mecca in my cathedral.
That is true.
And it is my cathedral that I congratulated.
You're right, sir.
And a day or two after that, we had this enthronement service, and I tell you, I was thrilled. The people who were in attendance, you know, there were many people. The Her Excellency, the Vice President, Aissatou Njai Sedi, was there. That service took 5 hours. And that wonderful lady stayed on with us right through. Not only that, a few hours later, we invited her to a primatial banquet, and she sat through it all for 3 hours. That is in itself, and she was, of course, representing the head of state, who everybody knows that he regards the minority of religion here very highly. And, you know, and not only that, then you had, of course, I invited all the political leaders of the country. For me, it was a national event, and I was glad to see Hussein Udabo and Hamad Ba present. And also, the religious leaders were there. My great friend, Tafsir Gay, was present until it was time for him to go say his prayers. And these are the kinds of things that we need to export, El-Haj Malik. We need to export this. We need to tell people that it is possible for people of God to live in harmony and peace one with the other. And this profile of being the most, perhaps, our community is A1 for religious coexistence. And we need to export this. And we should continue to pray fervently that this continues to be the norm.
This interview is taking place at a time when Christmas is just next door. Your Grace, let me ask you, Christmas time during your days socially, what were the main highlights of the festivity?
You know, El-Haj Malik, the thing about Christian Christmas is that each community is free to celebrate it the way the community feels, they should. So that's why you have a variety of ways of celebrating Christmas. You know, in the north, they have their way of doing it in different parts. And in the Gambia, we have our own unique way. But the general ethos or theme of Christmas is peace and goodwill towards men and women, for that matter. And so the whole question of our neighbors being